Hello everyone, I'm George from Ireland, so welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm saying save the Palestine Action hunger strikers. And in case you're curious, no, I'm not a member of Palestine Action. I've never been a supporter of it, all right? It's a proscribed organization. So it was outlawed in the United Kingdom last year. Some members of PA broke into an RAF base, vandalized a warplane worth millions of pounds. I think did a lot of damage, but it was then listed as a terrorist organization, despite Palestine Action not killing anyone or attempting to kill anyone or wounding anyone or attempting to do so or threatening to do so. What they did was to damage property. And okay, that is a bad thing and they should be punished for that. But I don't think there was any need to outlaw the organization. It's a long way from being a terrorist organization. So a lot of organizations have committed criminal damage. It doesn't make them terrorists. A lot of left-wing demonstrations, they smash windows. And okay, that's shocking, should get the full force of the law for that one. But it doesn't mean that everybody in the group is even indirectly involved in that sort of thing. So various people have been arrested on suspicion of membership of Palestine Action. And the police in London, where there's a sort of typhoon of shoplifting, they're wasting their time arresting geriatrics in wheelchairs who are not the slightest threat to anybody and cart them off to court. Now, the Home Secretary, the government doesn't control operational matters. Okay, they frame the law, they can express a view to the police, but the police will decide who to arrest and use their judgment about law enforcement. And they sometimes let things drift. I mean, I've spoken to police officers, they say about certain situations you've got bigger fish to fry. At Glastonbury, the music festival, there'll be a haze, the purple haze riding off the crowd of cannabis smoke. And no, they're not going to try and arrest 20,000 people for possession of cannabis. They save themselves for the most serious matters. They don't try and enforce every law to the nth degree because they can't. There's only so much time in the day. They've got to exercise judgment. So they're using their discretion. And this is clearly a huge misallocation of resources. But nevertheless, some people have been remanded in custody awaiting trial for this. And they've gone on hunger strike, refusing to eat since November 2025 in some cases. Now, some terrorists in Northern Ireland, they went on hunger strike in the 1970s and it's 1981. And several of them, well, quite a few of them committed suicide through this means. Likewise, in the Republic of Ireland, obviously the Irish government, my government, and I've got two governments, was sickeningly hypocritical on this one, saying, oh, save the hunger strikers, despite when they're on the hunger strike in the Irish Republic, say, let them die, and they did. So that is suicide, and an omission is as much of an act as a commission, as any statute book would tell you. So they're choosing not to take life-sustaining sustenance. They've got only them stupid selves to blame. Nevertheless, the prison authorities, they've got a duty of care to these people. You could force feed them. Most people say that's torture. Okay, but that might be the only way to save people's lives. Sometimes you do give people medical treatment against their will. They decide to be unethical. I mean, Thomas Ashe in Southern Ireland, back before the partition, actually, he was fed against his will, and that went wrong and killed him. So because that one time, more people have died as a result. You could invoke the Prisoners' Discharge of Ill Health Act passed before the First World War about the suffragettes and suffragists, which is when they were in this debilitated state of malnutrition, release them, they will start to eat, put on weight, and when they're healthy again, arrest them. The cat and mouse act, and you can do that as long as you like. Release, rearrest, release, rearrest. I mean, obviously they could go ground and go missing. Obviously, with violent criminals, they were reluctant to let them back out on the street again because they may slip through the net and commit more murders. But anyway, Palestine Action, I say, is not a terrorist organization. It's preposterous to label it. It's a bit like when Zimbabwe said the BBC was a terrorist organization, or in Russia, any journalist is terrorist in Putin's dictionary. This really is preposterous. So several PA members, Louis Chiaramello, Toita Hodja, Kamran Ahmed, and Hebat Mouraisi, stopped eating. Now, people have survived up to 70 days without eating, but there are a number of variables. How the age of the person, the general health of the person, the person's body mass before he or she began to refuse a provender. Is this person simply lying down in a warm, dry room, and all the rest of it, not physically active? All these will be factors, metabolism. But there comes a point of no return Whereas even you start eating, you will have sustained permanent damage to your health. You go blind after a while. I'm told after a few days, actually, they lose their hunger. I don't know if that's true, but partly at some point they actually start to gain weight. I think it's when their kidneys aren't functioning properly. So some of it's gone to hospital. So this is pre-trial detention. Okay, so they say that they're not on hunger strike for release. They say it's because of bail conditions they haven't been proper access to legal preparation, which I very much doubt is true. And they say that the prison conditions, they want more posts, more phone calls, more books, and blah blah blah. So yeah, I just think that they should be charged again. So that's it. So they broke in and they smashed some property at the subsidiary of an Israeli military manufacturing firm, Elbit Systems. So they pleaded not guilty and all the rest of it. So yeah, obviously I want their lives to be saved. And I don't agree with them on everything, but we've got to do what we can to save their lives. We don't have the death penalty, but I know if they die, it'll be their own fault. They want to die, which is that why refusing food. They're offered nutritious food all the time, and they say no. And it'd be a big fillip to their cause. It's only in humane places like the United Kingdom or Republic of Ireland they do that. I mean, I wonder why nobody tries hunger striking in Russia or North Korea or China. Well, the news of it would never get out. They've got no free press. I mean, they would be force fed. They've got so little food anyway. They could just be beaten and beaten and beaten until they're ate. So the very fact that there are hunger strikes in the United Kingdom, in a sense, is a reassuring sign, is just how merciful it is that they think that the government might give in to them. What do you think about these people going on hunger strike? Because it is suicide. I know the Catholic hierarchy in Ireland said it wasn't. The Catholic hierarchy in Great Britain said that it was. Blatantly, it was. And obviously, under Christianity, suicide was the worst possible sin, worse than murder, taking God's gift of life and throwing it back into his face. It wouldn't be a very good thing if a religion was to encourage self-destruction. So there we go. But okay, so let's do what we can to save these people, even though they are criminals, probably. Being a member of PA, I don't regard as a crime. Obviously, damaging property, I do. Right, thanks for watching my channel. Make sure you subscribe on Patreon, donate PayPal, georgecullen7@gmail.com. Goodbye.